way that Jesus was a friend. In John 15:12-15, it says, "My command is this, love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends, if you do what I command. I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends, for everything that I have learned from my Father, I have made known to you." So let's take a look at the definition of what a friend is. Merriam-Webster Dictionary says that it is one attached to another by affection or esteem. The Cambridge Dictionary says that it's a person who you know well and that you like a lot, but who is usually not a member of your family. Britannica says it's a person who you like and enjoy being with. These feel like excellent definitions of what a friend is, although I think for many of us with siblings, we'll know that our first friend was a sibling. The definition I like most is found in Proverbs 17, verse 17. "A friend loveth at all times, not sometimes, not when it's convenient, not when I feel like it, at all times." In marketing, there's something called a marketing funnel. So with this, the way it works is leads come in at the top, and then those leads are refined, and as you refine them, you nurture those leads, and they then are converted into customers and clients that you can do business with at the end of the funnel. And it's well known in marketing that if you don't have enough leads coming in at the top of the funnel, that you will have very little business at the bottom. Similarly, one can use the same concept on levels of friendship. At the top of the funnel is strangers. Strangers become acquaintances. Acquaintances, when refined, become casual friends. Casual friends, when nurtured, become close friends. And close friends can be converted into intimate friends. There's one extra level that I want to add here, and it's a term coined by a very good friend of mine. And I'll explain this a bit later, but it's called a platinum friend. Now, when it comes to strangers, this is the lowest level of the friendship funnel. This is our relationship with most people in the world. Strangers really have no idea about each other. They're not part of your plans, your everyday plans. You might say hello or share a short superficial conversation, such as a teller at a shop you don't usually go to, or someone you pass as you walk down the road. Strangers can be characterized by the phrase, "I don't know you." Next, we get acquaintances. Acquaintances are those people you have occasional contact with, and this contact is more coincidental, such as the teller at the shop where you go regularly, or someone you greet every Sabbath but don't necessarily know their name. Conversations between acquaintances are usually focused on general knowledge or topics that won't make the other person uncomfortable, and you probably ask about things like the weather, how was their day, or you might comment on some general event that everyone knows has happened or taken place. These conversations are usually superficial and inconsequential. You don't know this person on a deeper level. And acquaintances can be characterized by the phrase, "I know of you." Casual friends are where friendship starts to bloom. Usually this is because you have some common interests and activities. Casual friends meet more frequently than acquaintances, and they talk about their common interests together. This is often where we have like work friends. We have work in common, and if you're in the same department, you may have other interests in common. Work is a great place to make casual friends, and in fact, there's a lot of great places to make casual friends, and I'll touch on some of these a bit later. Casual friends praise and encourage each other. You might have that one colleague at work or that one friend at varsity who encourages you to reach your goals, or that gym buddy that's constantly pushing you to do just a couple extra reps. These friendships are more situational, and if you stop going to the same class or going to work together, they might drift away. And neither of you will be hurt or upset when this happens, and this is because you're not all that serious about each other emotionally, and it's usually characterized by the phrase, they can be characterized by the phrase, I know you. Next we have close friends. These are also known as good friends. Close friends tend to share the same or similar values, ideals, and world views. More than common interests, close friends have mutual interests, life goals, and work together or support each other to achieve those goals. Close friends stay connected despite life's circumstances. You make time to see each other, you go out of your way to help each other, and you might even go a period of time without seeing each other, but then when you do see each other, it's like you've seen each other every day for the last 10 years. The sad thing is that most people never get this far. And close friends can be characterized by the phrase, I understand you. Then we get intimate friends. These are also known as best friends. Intimate friends are committed to the development of each other's character. You want them to be the best possible version of themselves. You care about who they are and the effects of certain influences on how they are developing as a person. Intimate friends remain committed to working with each other towards becoming better people. And with intimate friends, there's a mutual responsibility of honesty with discretion. What this means is that you can take critical feedback to that friend, but they perceive it as caring. And you can tell them the worst things about yourself, and you can tell them your deepest secrets, and you know that you won't be judged, and you know that you won't be rejected. An intimate friend requires you to be vulnerable, but you feel comfortable being vulnerable with them. And they are easy to share personal matters with. You know that an intimate friend will always be there for you and accept you in all circumstances. They won't pass judgment over you. Instead, they will help you work on changing your character flaws and overcoming the consequences of your poor decisions. Intimate friends are connected, soul to soul. The only phrase that can adequately characterize an intimate friend is, I love you. Then we get the platinum friends. This final level is the one that my friend coined and is not an official friendship level. But to me, it is the highest level of friendship. Platinum friends, like the material, reflect each other in thought and action. This kind of friendship is of immense value and extremely rare. A platinum friend is characterized by the phrase, I am the same as you. I see this kind of relationship often in strong marriages, and it is this level of friendship that I aspire to have with Jesus. He is very rare and valuable, and I want to reflect him in everything that I do. Remember the Bible definition of a friend. So Proverbs 17:7 says, a friend loveth at all times. And as we kind of looked at it, which is the level that is characterized by the phrase, I love you? So the standard of friendship for the Bible that it's setting for us is intimate friendship. And while moving from strangers to intimate friends will happen, usually fairly organically, and in some instances you can even skip a couple of steps because you just click with the other person, it will take some work and some effort and some patience to move through the various levels. So the reason why I chose the topic of friendship today is because there is a loneliness epidemic in the world. In November last year, the WHO declared that loneliness is a global health concern and launched an international commission on loneliness. It's a pretty big step to take. That's a pandemic level step to take. And loneliness refers to subjective, distressing experience of having a lack of or deficiency in one's social connection to others, indicating that relationships with others are missing or inadequate. We all know that Satan is hard at work at destroying relationships. This epidemic is a result of those efforts. I see loneliness in people all around me. I see it here in our beloved church. There are elderly members seeking companionship, conversation, to feel heard, to be seen. And I love that the youth have arranged to go to a home for the elderly this afternoon. These people are seeking connection. There are people in our church wrestling with loneliness. A lot of them are young people. And this is as a result of social media becoming the norm for communication, building digital divides between people. Screens, online followings, and pressures to only show the good side of life rob them from true connection. There are sisters, brothers, mothers, fathers, and other loved ones secretly growing more and more lonely, even though they are with their families, because they feel different, because they have mental health barriers, because they experience a distinct lack of connection. There are so many people here in our church and outside in the world not wanting to burden others with their loneliness, but they are desperately hoping for an intimate friend. So what should we do about it? The number one way to overcome loneliness is to connect with others. You can be part of the solution to one of the world's greatest needs of our times. And it's as simple as going out of your way to connect and spend time with other people. And if you yourself are lonely, it's a solution that works twofold. And potential friends are everywhere. Work, school, church, varsity, at your weekly class, or at the gym. You are more than likely living next door to some other people. Why not start there? That you know where they live, you know where they are every single day. And really, anyone can be a friend. And friendship isn't expensive. In fact, it's a free gift that you can give to anyone. There are some requirements of friendship. There's the usual ones that are obvious: trust, honesty, compassion, loyalty, respect. And then there are a few others which are perhaps less obvious, like listening. And I don't mean like hearing, I mean really listening with the, I don't mean hearing or listening with the intent to respond or to solve problems or to add your opinion. I mean like really listening to hear what they are saying and what they are not saying, and asking them about what's being said, asking them how they feel about what they are saying, and asking them to say more. Jesus took the time to really listen to people, and people flocked to him by the thousand. The next one is forgiveness. Even when they hurt you, and they will hurt you because, unfortunately, sin has left a wound in our lives, and hurt people tend to hurt others. You need to be prepared to forgive them often. And you need to forgive them in the way that Christ forgave us, blotting it from our record and our hearts altogether. The next one there is devotion or commitment. And this is the one where you'll just have to have some sticking power. You'll need to stick with him even when things get difficult. You wouldn't want Christ to give up on you, so I think we need to be equally committed to our friendships. Last one there is sacrifice. And this one can be quite a difficult one, because if you want friendship to move from the casual friends into the close or intimate friends stages, you're going to have to take time you would rather spend on yourself and spend it on the friendship. You will need to sacrifice the emotional security of walls that you might have built up around your heart in order to be vulnerable around them. You're going to have to sacrifice your comfort zone, your time, your ego, and your energy. Jesus sacrificed his life to be our friends. I think this sacrifice is relatively small in comparison. And so how does one become a good friend? I don't think there's a secret recipe or anything like that. Really, I think it's a journey, and it's going to be different for each and every person, even if the destination is the same. Enjoy the process of making friends. Don't expect it to happen overnight, and take your time getting to know them. There is no need to force it, but you will have to put in some time, energy, and effort. The most important thing is that you need to be who you truly are. Warts and all. After all, intimate friends will help develop each other's characters. Be authentic so that they can come to love the real you. The pretenses are exhausting anyway. Be the friend that you wish you had. The key to master the art of making friends is patience and practice. Some people are born with natural charms that make it easy for them to make and maintain friendships. The rest of us will have to work on it and keep practicing and praying. When it comes to that, I want to sort of say you can also look at the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, John, and Luke, because what's really great about that is that Jesus really shows you how to connect with people. And really, you could do like a whole sermon on it. Skipping pages, yeah. But I think for me, what really stands out is that he goes and he actually initiates the friendships. He doesn't wait for friendships to come to him. He is so wonderfully vulnerable. He's just always open and honest with the people around him, sharing his feelings, sharing his thoughts. He's incredibly patient, so that's something I also have to learn, being patient. He doesn't mock mistakes. He doesn't force anyone to take his opinion or his view. He just allows them to realize things by themselves by sharing truth in the bonds of a loving friendship. And then I just want to say, beware the excuses. I want to warn you against making excuses. Yes, we are all tired after a grueling day of work or varsity that has taxed us physically, emotionally, and mentally. Yes, we all have other responsibilities demanding our time and energy. Yes, making friends is a challenge and not without obstacle. But we must be careful that these things that we are confronted with aren't holding us back from following Christ's example and winning hearts through friendship. Again, I just want to read that passage from John 15:12-15. It says, "My command is this, love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends, if you do what I command. I no longer call you servants, because servants do not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends, for everything that I've learned from my Father, I have made known to you." Again, if we look at that friendship funnel, you can start at the top, you can start in the middle, as long as you keep working to convert people into your intimate friends. And for me, honestly, there's a miracle that no one talks about, and that's that Jesus, at the age of over 30, had at least 12 intimate friends. I don't know how many of you over 30 have 12 intimate friends. I certainly don't have anywhere near this number. When you start with love, others will be more open to working with you to be a better person or to improve their character. When you start with love, the truth you speak, the testimonies you share, and the emotional bonds you have developed will strike at the heart of the person. When someone feels connected to you, when they feel that you love them, you can make a far greater impact on them. Jesus turned ordinary men into soul winners by being their friend. My final closing remarks is this. I want to challenge you to make 2 new friends in 2024. I want you to think about that person in your mind now, if you can. The first I want to say is, I want to challenge you to make a new friend in the church. This will be good practice, because it should be a bit easier because you have something really, really great in common. And it has the added benefits of reducing loneliness in our church and will help us to nourish and fortify each other. Maybe you already have someone in mind, someone you've been meaning to get closer with, or you may be looking around and notice someone whose name you don't even know, but that God is highlighting for you. Commit to taking that first step, and if possible, do it today. The second person you should be someone that's not in our church. Again, you might already know who you want that person to be, but if you don't, ask God to bring that person into your life or to highlight that person to you, so that you can connect with them. See what being an involved and connected friend does for that person and for you and for spreading the gospel. As you navigate these newfound friendships, include God. Pray and let Jesus lead the way. And let's be the best friends this world has ever had. I invite you now to close your eyes in prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for the blessing that we have to be able to be friends with others. Lord, help us to practice those skills of winning souls for you through friendship. Lord, we have to often sacrifice things from ourselves, our time, our energy, and effort. Help us to be doing that with a grateful heart, with a joyful heart, and help us to win people to you through love, through affection, and through the way that you set forth as an example for us. We pray this in your name alone. Amen.